Hey friend, and welcome back to the channel. It is the end of 2020, finally. It's pretty common at the end of the year for companies to run performance reviews. This is essentially a time where you are assessed on your performance throughout the year and might even potentially go up for a promotion. Now, companies often do this at different times, so I know it's not super standardized across all companies, but I'm currently going through this at Uber at the moment, and so I thought that I would share with you the template that I'm using for my performance review to kind of write my year in review that is going to contribute towards my promotion. So let's get into it. So whether it's performance review season for you or not, I do think generally it's a good time at the end of the year to kind of reflect and review on all of your accomplishments and projects throughout the year. Also, don't worry if you do performance reviews sort of at a different time of the year. Hopefully this video and this template is kind of applicable to different periods throughout the year. You can just modify and adjust as necessary. So how I typically look back and reflect is by creating a year in review document, and I've got a template of that document here on my iPad that I'm going to walk through with you, and there's going to be a link to actually download and use this template for free as well, so take a look in the description below to get access to that template right now. Alright, so let's start going through this deck. So it begins with the title slide. Here you can replace your name, and maybe if you want you can add a logo of your company that you're working at. I often will do that as well. And then of course replace the photo with a photo of you. On the next slide is a table of contents, and I've actually linked these as a prototype to the relevant slides, so if someone is going through this presentation, they can quickly jump to the relevant or most important or interesting sections of the presentation. Now you'll see that the fourth one that I've added is next level competencies. Typically, this is only really relevant, in my experience at least, if you're going up for a promotion. Then one of the expectations is that you kind of identify the competencies required at the next level and then kind of show a little bit how you're currently demonstrating or excelling in these competencies today. If I was not going up for promotion, I probably wouldn't include this. So it's an optional section. Maybe you don't have competencies. I'm not sure how promotions work at your company or what like the expectations are at the different levels, but this is really a section to kind of more for like if you're going up for promotion, that's the area where you can kind of talk about how you're ready for that next step. Okay, so it begins with project highlights. So I like to kind of pull 4 key projects from the year. Now again, this differs. Maybe you work at a place where like you only work on one big project a year. I'll leave this up to your discretion. In my experience, I usually have around like 1 key project per quarter. So here, these yellow boxes, you can like drop in a screenshot or like a device frame or any kind of visual, maybe it's an illustration, whatever, of what each of those projects are. Then for each of the project highlights is a slide where you can kind of go into depth and detail about that project. You'll see a little section at the top where you can write about the impact that this project has had. So maybe you can reflect on some key success metrics or think about what is the impact that this project has brought to the business. It's really important to kind of call that out up front, so I've left like a bolded section for that there. Then in the section below, you can sort of just give a bit of an outline or a description about the project. And then on the right-hand side is where you can actually put your designs. I have included some components for Android, iOS, and also for desktop. And they're all in there grouped in hidden layers, so you can sort of show and hide whatever kind of device frame you need. And they also have a couple of different like layouts of the background too, and feel free to change the color of those to your preference. So I have, I think, 4 placeholders for these, but you can duplicate or remove, however many you need. Just a note on the links too, Figma does have a linking feature, so you can link to any relevant documents. In my case, I'm often linking to the design deck, the Figma file, and the PRD, product requirements document as well. If you have like a dashboard or like report of success metrics or like how the product's been going since it was released, then that's really great to link to as well. So after you've done the project highlights, then there is additional projects. So these are like any other additional work that you did throughout the year. Maybe it wasn't a key project, maybe it wasn't a project that you led, maybe it's a project that hasn't shipped yet, but there is a space here to talk about those projects too. And in this section, I've kind of laid it out so that you can talk about 2 projects per slide. So it's a little bit briefer. Same thing with the devices you can show and hide. And then I've also included a version that doesn't have any supporting visuals. In my personal year in review document, here I actually talked about some design sprints I did throughout the year, contributions that I did to user research and research reports. So it doesn't have to strictly be like design projects. If you contributed within other disciplines to work, then I think it's definitely worth pulling out here in this section as well. Okay, next is extracurricular. So this is kind of a section to talk about maybe anything that you're kind of doing or contributing back to the business outside of your core job responsibilities. So this might be things like citizenship initiatives or like internal side projects or helping out with a team. For me, some examples of these are I run a book club. I also send out we call it the Eats Design Index. It's like a monthly roll up of like all the projects that we work on as a design team, and that gets sent out to the whole design and Eats organization. I think I also talk a bit about public speaking things that I've done on behalf of the company throughout the year. So any of those kinds of initiatives that you may have, this is a great place to include this as well, because you should definitely be getting recognized for that work as well. It's almost just as important as the project work itself. And then lastly, as mentioned, demonstrations of the next level of competencies. I've put a couple of examples actually in here of how I've kind of done this. So you can replace each heading with a competency. Some examples of ours are like collaboration and communication, influence and contribution, problem and complexity. I think in total we have 10 maybe competencies, so this is just 3. And you can choose the competencies that you feel like you've really been excelling at. I didn't choose all of them. I just chose, I think, actually these 3 to focus on. And then underneath each one, just talk about how you're demonstrating that competency at the next level for your promotion. So you can include like tangible examples. Maybe you want to link back to projects that are related to how you've excelled in this area. Just anything to kind of help you get over the line and sort of put less burden or work on whoever's doing this assessment of you getting up to promo. Give them the resources and the reasons they need to give you that promotion. So I think this is a really important area if you're going up for promo. Again, if you're not going up for promo, you probably don't need this section, but maybe you want to do it anyway for yourself personally to kind of just assess where you're at. Okay, and that's it for this presentation. Some other things I've included in the past is maybe a link out to like feedback or praise I've gotten. Throughout the year, anytime I get like a nice email or a shout out in an all hands or some like really good like feedback, I'll actually screenshot it and save it and put it in a document. So sometimes in these presentations, I'll link to that as well at the end to be like, here is like a list of all my accomplishments and like achievements and nice words from people I've worked with throughout the year. So that's another thing that I sometimes link to as well. And then if you're not going up for promotion, then maybe another section you could have, I didn't include it here, but in the past I've included a section on areas of opportunity or like opportunity areas for growth, where you could maybe kind of set some goals or talk about some things you'd like to try or start doing next year. Talk about how you're planning to get to that next level or continue growing within your current level. So that's a nice section that you can have as well. Maybe just swap the competency section for like opportunity areas, and then I think you're good to go. Okay, friend, and that is the year in review template. As mentioned, there's a free link to the Figma file for this. Head on down to the description and click on the link to check it out. Also, if you want some feedback or some guidance, or maybe you want to go through this together one-on-one, I am happy to help you with your year in review or like performance review document. You can always book time with me on Superpair. I give one-on-one 30-minute mentoring sessions there. So feel free to book a session there if you want some one-on-one help as to writing this document and preparing your project highlights. It's a very good chance this is my last video for 2020. So I will take a moment to say thank you so much for all of the support and growth and just like general warm fuzzies that I've received from you throughout the year. I started this channel at 5,000 subscribers and I think now I'm at like 24,000. So it's been incredible growth. If you're someone who subscribed this year, thank you so much. If you subscribed before that, then thanks so much for still sticking around and still being here. I'm currently working on planning my content for 2021, so if there's something you'd like to see on this channel, then please do leave it in a comment. I read pretty much all of the comments, so I'd love to hear your feedback about what you'd like to see from me next year. Happy holidays, good luck with writing your year in review, performance documentation, and if you're going up for promotion, good luck. I give you all the warm and well wishes. All right, catch you in the new year. Bye.